Do you think now that G4 is gone, I can like talk about stuff?
Yeah.
G4.
So,
what
like-
do you mean?
Okay, so like people are always like, yo, G4 shut down because of this or that. And I'm like, bro, I was already sus with G4 shutting down from the interview process. Cause like the guy that was interviewing me, he goes, so why should we cancel Batman? And
What?
I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah. Why do you believe we should cancel Batman? And I was like, why are we canceling Batman? He's like, because he's rich and he's white. And I was like, well, what do those two have to do with each other? Like, yeah, people believe that he just skates on the law, and that if someone of color did the same exact thing, they wouldn't get away with it like he does.
That's a
I was like-
real ass question that they asked you?
That's literally what G4 recruiting asked me. If I was getting like robbed or assaulted in Arkham or something, I wouldn't really care who's saving me. I don't care if he's rich and white. I just care enough that he's like actually like saving people. Because are you gonna do anything about it? Yeah, he didn't like that answer. Then later on, another question they asked me was, okay, besides Batman, what other superhero would you cancel?
You know, I know exactly who they wanted you to say. They wanted you to say Spider-Man because he works with the NYPD. Fucking Kotaku, every time a Spider-Man game comes out, I can't believe we're glamorizing this.
I was like, I don't think I have an answer. And he's like, well, you have to give one or whatever. So I think it says something like Punisher or something, even though he's like one of my favorites. I was like, Punisher? And he's like, good answer. And I was like, okay, whatever.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and wow. Well, now we know exactly why the network failed. The people running it were woke idiots. I'm not even sure what. Okay, again, this is talent from G4TV talking about how she was asked in the interview, hey, so which superhero would you cancel? And why is it Batman? Because he's a white cis male. This is who is doing the hiring for G4TV. Absolutely appalling. We're going to get into that after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. They allow people to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so they can call themselves a lord or a lady officially. In return, they commit to plant a tree with every order and protect the beautiful pristine woodlands of Scotland. Established Titles makes an absolutely amazing gift, and a person could officially get their name changed on documents. Their title pack gives you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate and an official certificate with a crest. Established Titles is currently having a really big sale just for you, my subscribers. You can get an additional 10% off any purchase you make with the discount code TheQuartering. So click the link below, go to establishedtitles.com/thequartering and use promo code TheQuartering to save an extra 10% today. Now this is basically a pretty big bombshell. G4TV interview process involved questions about canceling Batman. Like, and by the way, the canceling part of it, this is like they're talking about like the social justice canceling form. In the wake of the cancellation, the other form, and closure of the reboot of G4TV by Comcast, more details about the short-lived network have been trickling out. This is via clownfishtv.com, written by Jake James Lugo. But was even more about G4TV prior to the network's relaunch, plagued by other factors unrelated to what was seen in their content. Details about what it was like to interview for a job at G4TV may have given more troubling answers. During the Spawncast after show, posted to the YouTube channel for RGT85, the channel being RGT Live and extra content, creator Miss Click openly talked about her experience going through the interview process for G4TV. The discussion during the live show first started with chatter about the late actor Kevin Conroy and his contribution to the voice of Batman. This was interrupted by Miss Click asking if it was okay to discuss something related now that the G4TV was no longer around. During the show, Miss Click went on to talk about what she meant. Quote, I was already sus of the G4 TV during the interview process. They offered me a host position where you have to relocate out to LA. So I go through the interview process, and the guy that was interviewing me goes, so why should we cancel Batman? Why do you believe we should cancel Batman? So it wasn't even like, you know, should Batman's be canceled? Batman being canceled was a fact. And I was like, why are we canceling Batman? And he's like, because he's rich and white. Because people believe that he just skates on the law, and that if someone of color did the same thing, they wouldn't get away with it. What about Miles Morales? Anyway, as Miss Click went on to detail more about her experience, both the other hosts of the show and the audience in chat were confused and shocked at the revelation. Host RGT85 went on to ask, that's a real question they asked you, to which Miss Click replied immediately after with, that's literally what the G4 recruiter asked me, and whoever their manager was or whatever their interviewers were doing. During the rest of the show, Miss Click and the rest of the host's response to questions and comments from the audience to react to the story, many of them were very shocked to hear her story. She goes on to talk about her thoughts on the matter. I think this is one of the reasons why they didn't pursue me to the next level. To be honest, if I was getting robbed in Arkham or something, I wouldn't really care who's saving me. I wouldn't care if he's rich and white. I would just care that he's actually saving people. Yes, see, this is the thing. Miss Click is correct. That is the correct opinion, regardless of how or what, people may want to gaslight. No, that you are, Miss Click has the correct opinion here. Now, I don't know who this woman is, but it sounds like she's get better off for not going to work for the show. Another point brought up during her story was the question about what other superhero Miss Click would cancel. She detailed how awkward the question was and and described how she had to give an answer to the interviewer, which ended up being the Punisher. Some of the other hosts of the show suggested that the interviewer was probably looking for an answer like Spider-Man, since the web-slinger has worked alongside the NYPD and Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. Very true. While that is unrelated speculation, what was understood among the hosts was the audience watching was how awkward and uncomfortable the questions were. The rest of the show went on to continue discussing the rest of the main topics the group had, with the occasional reference to the Miss Click story. She finished her story with an extra thought to the audience. Quote, honestly, G4 has been dead since the interview process. G4 was scrapped before it ever began. That's my opinion on it. Everyone who got a job at G4 had to answer that question. And I wonder who they picked. I wonder what their answer was to get the job. Those questions, the interviewer literally said, these are the questions we ask all of our interviewees. I hung up from the interview saying to myself, this was a waste of time. Yikes. Great reporting, G4TV and RGT85, for hosting that great conversation. I'm not shocked or surprised, I suppose you would say. I'm not surprised in the slightest bit. This is exactly the type of questions. I guess I'm only surprised that they're like just saying it right out in front, like just right out in front of everyone saying, oh yeah, you have to be a social justice warrior to work here. And so which one of these people would you cancel? And why is it Batman? Because he's rich and white. Like I don't believe for a second this woman made that up. There's no way, because like that's just not something. It's just too specific and too hilariously on brand for this to not be true. You see this article in GamesBeat. Learning from G4's and Ven's deaths, TV on Twitch doesn't work. Money. In a leaked statement to G4TV staff, Dave Scott, chairman and CEO of Comcast Spectator, admitted that G4TV's viewership is low and the network had not achieved sustainable financial results. The overhead to run a traditional TV network, the stages, production teams, talent, sales, and support staff is monumental. Ven burned through $40 million in just 18 months attempting this. These mounting costs probably pushed executives to search for better ways to monetize their product. Both Ven and G4TV chose to sign deals with pay TV distribution companies like Roku and Distro TV and Verizon Fios and things of that nature to accomplish this. However, those deals created a host of problems, namely ad breaks. While Twitch has recently pushed for streamers to run more ads, Twitch viewers have often complained that the commercials ruin the experience. After all, Twitch has acclimated their user base to only seeing pre-roll ads for years. When Ven and G4TV tried to run traditional 8-minute per hour ad breaks on their platform like Twitch, they lost viewers. Both networks tried to appeal to the new generation of viewer with linear TV format presented on a streaming platform it was not designed for. Over the last 90 days, G4TV averaged just 2,000 viewers on Twitch, firmly placing the company in the top 1% of broadcasters. But compared to the thousands of viewers Nielsen reports for TV networks, this looks like peanuts to executives. However, this could be a failure of a larger trend. Even studio-style shows presented on TV are losing their audiences. Of course, it failed to find its fan base. Well, mostly because the fans they were looking for appeared to be exclusively social justice warriors. I don't really know, what else. Who else were they looking for? Lunatics exclusively. I'm not exactly sure how else to kind of to see this. Like, they're literally looking for ideologues. You saw it from their interview process. If Miss Click ever wants to come on my channel and discuss and more in depth, I would absolutely love to get the scoop from her. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.